If you have bought an Insta360 X3 or any of the previous models, then you know that there is a virtual smorgasbord of accessories that you can get for these cameras. Some of them are good, some of them are must-haves, and some of them you just kind of want to stay away from. In this video, I'm going to show you the ones that I use. I'm going to tell you why I use them, and I'm going to show you some things to stay away from. Now first, I'm going to have links to all the ones that I use down in the description, along with some of the other ones that I don't use but are still good. And if you want to get one of these Insta360 action cameras, then I'll put a link down in the description for that also. The camera itself is fantastic. Now, you old school GoPro users, if you're still holding on to those old things, a lot of these accessories will work with the GoPro. Not all of them, but a lot of them will. So there's still some good information in here for you old school GoPro users. This is the new wave of the future. This is waterproof, it's an action camera, it's durable. It does everything that a GoPro does, only better. Let's go through these accessories. Now the first accessory is absolute must-have is a selfie stick. This one is from Insta360. It's very compact. I really like this one because of how small it is. You can put it in your pocket and take it with you wherever you're going. But it does extend quite a ways. It's a good length for getting those selfie shots. With the 360 camera, you have to have a selfie stick to get those third-person views and things like that. And the selfie stick is invisible. The software and the camera and all that stuff takes this out automatically so you don't even see the selfie stick. But you can't get the real benefits of the Insta360 X3 without having a selfie stick. You don't have to buy the Insta360 one. There are several other selfie sticks out there, but you have to be very careful with what you buy. A lot of this stuff you do get what you pay for. And then other things like this Insta360 selfie stick they're designed to do certain things. Like the base of this has a 1/4-20 hull, so you can screw it into all kinds of different mounts, and we'll talk about some of those mounts in a little bit. But this piece here is all aluminum and it's built right into the handle, so it's not going to pop out. Some of the cheaper selfie sticks, if you screw a mount in here and put a camera way out there, the weight on there will pull the end of that thing right out of there because it's just glued in. And sometimes it's not even glued, it's just pressed in. So it'll pop out and then you'll lose your selfie stick and your camera while you're driving down the road when it's attached to your car or whatever. So the Insta360 selfie stick, it's super light. It's friction based, so you can extend it however far you want and it won't collapse, go back in or out. So you can move it to wherever you want, or you can fully extend it, and it's got a positive stop. So you just grab it and pull it all the way out and it stops. You don't have to twist and pull out and lock it and things like that. Later on, I'll show you a selfie stick that I've been using for a long time. This is way better than the one that I have. And that stick is actually holding up the camera right now. The next thing that you're gonna want is a decent mini tripod. This one's made by Zedio. It's all aluminum and it's way better constructed than I thought it was going to be. It does spread out pretty far and it makes a nice stable base for attaching the camera directly to, or you can take the selfie stick and screw it right onto it. And then you can extend the selfie stick up, put the camera up on there, and then you have a nice vlogging camera or a steady one to do time lapses, things like that. So this works really good. You can also close it down and just leave it connected, and it can be the handle of your selfie stick, and it'll extend your reach by maybe 6 more inches so you can get the selfie stick up a little bit higher. I thought that it wasn't going to be super great because it's really affordable, but it actually turned out to be really good. Now the next thing that I would consider a must-have is the super long extended selfie stick. This thing is 10 feet long when it opens up. Super compact, friction based, so you can extend it however you want, but it is giant. I can't even extend this thing fully and actually show you what it's doing. Maybe I can do it like that. It is a long selfie stick. With a long selfie stick like this, you can get those kind of drone shots over bridges and over people and above crowds where you can't fly a drone. But this is super handy. The only thing that I would warn you on is when you're flying your drone with this stick, you might be putting the camera down along the side of a bridge or something like that, and you're gonna wanna not let it slip out of your hand. So what I suggest, now there's a couple different ways that you can do it. Down in the link, I'll put a link to one that you can buy that's designed for this purpose, but it puts an eyelet on the bottom of the selfie stick, and then you can put any lanyard you want on there. I just went and got a stainless steel eyelet, 1/4 thread. It threads right into the bottom of it. You tighten it up, and then you can put your lanyard of your choice on there, put it around your wrist, and now if something happens and it falls out of your hand, it's still wrapped around your wrist and you don't lose your selfie stick and your camera down the side of a bridge. Now let me say something about these long selfie sticks. Again, you kind of get what you pay for. This is all carbon fiber, it's super light. It's got a well-machined aluminum end for your attachment here, and the end here is secured very well with glue and it's pinned. The cheap ones of these, you can cheap out on these things and get them for 15 bucks, but this end is just pressed in with a little bit of glue. And I've seen lots of reports of the ends falling off when you have a camera attached to it. So you're flying off the side of a bridge, this pops off, your camera falls into the river, you never see your camera again. Don't skimp on the extended selfie stick. The next thing that I have that I consider a must-have is one of these Ulanzi super clamps. It unscrews, it opens up very large, and you can clamp it on to a multitude of things. And it's very secure, it's all metal. You can really crank it down, get it really tight. It can go on round tube, flat things, all kinds of different surfaces, tree branches, you name it, you can clamp it on. It's got rubber feet here, so it's non-marring, plus a little bit of extra traction so it doesn't slip. And what's really cool about it is it's got this extended piece with the thumb screw, and you can unscrew that and move this all around. So when you mount it to something, you can get your camera nice and straight and flat. It's got a 1/4 thread on it. You screw your camera right onto that, and then you can take this thing anywhere you want. You can clamp it onto bike handlebars. You can clamp it onto the front grille of your truck. You can clamp it onto fence posts or bridge banisters, all over the place. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. And you can even take your selfie stick and thread it onto there, and then tighten all this down, and then clamp this onto what you want, and you can have a selfie stick mount like that. This is the Ulanzi. It's somewhat of a name brand when it comes to mounts and things like that, and they're just built really well. There are some knockoffs that they're plastic and they're just not as durable. One of the problems is these move, and this one has a textured ball in there, so when you crank it down, they don't move. Some of them are smooth, and then as you're driving down the road, your selfie stick starts dropping, and it's just not good. This is one of the best ones that I've found on the market, and it's super affordable. The next thing I have is the bullet time cord. Now, I don't want to say it's a must-have, but if you want to use some of the cool features on this camera, then something like this is kind of a must-have. You can get one of those eyelets that I'll have in the description, and you can screw it into here, and you can just put a string on there or a piece of paracord or whatever, and basically do the same thing, but this is super convenient. This has a cord that is auto-retractable back into its little body there, and it's about yay long. I don't know what that is, a meter long maybe? and then it just screws into the bottom of the camera, and then you take it out and you can swing it around you and do the bullet time videos. Another thing that you can do with this is you can tie it to a tree branch and then have it swing around you. I tied one to a ceiling fan in my house and it gave a pretty cool effect. I'm at a secret location because I have a secret to tell you about. This has a hidden secret in it that they don't want you to know about, but it makes this thing about 10 times more functional, and it gives you a whole lot more creativity. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll tell you all about it. If you're new to the channel and you like this kind of content, then do me a favor. Click that little subscribe button and click that little bell so you get notifications of when I put out new content. I'm out here traveling the country and I put out content all the time. Now the next thing that I have is not a must-have, but it's kind of convenient, especially if you're going to be shooting a lot in remote areas where you don't have an opportunity to charge the camera. That's an extra battery and a quick charge case. This is a case that holds 2 batteries, so you get yourself an extra battery and you can just pop both the batteries in there and charge it right in there. Now you can charge the batteries in the camera, but having an extra one when you're out and about is just pretty handy. Now, as far as the battery goes, I suggest getting the official Insta360 battery. The aftermarket ones, yeah, they're cheaper, but they're not much cheaper, and these aren't expensive anyway, but they just don't last as long. When you feel them, they're lighter. They don't have as much capacity as the factory batteries. The quick charger is by Magazine. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but there's not a whole lot to it. It's got a USB-C port in the back. You drop your battery in, push it down, and then you can charge them, close them up. This is not one of those cases that will charge the battery without it being plugged in. It's just a fast charger, and it's got a lid so you can put it away. Now the next thing that I have is the silicone lens cover that's from Insta360. I'm torn. It's not something that's absolutely needed. Yeah, it's handy. You just take it, you can put it over the lens, and then you can sit the camera down. So it does protect the lenses, and if you have one of these cameras, you know the lenses are exposed and you can't just lay them down on concrete and stuff like that. So you want to be able to put something on there so you can lay this thing down while you're getting ready for your next shot. It's not something that you have to have though, because the camera, the Insta360 X3, comes with this nice neoprene case that just slides over the camera. So you can just use what comes with it. Now, one of the downsides is that you can't access any of the controls if you want to review footage or transfer things and things like that when it's in that case. You can do it on your phone when it's in this little sleeve, but it's a little bit easier to just pop that on there, and then you can actually use the touch screen here and do whatever you need to do. So it's not a must-have, but it's a kind of nice to have thing. One thing that you have to be careful with though on this cover is to make sure the inside of it stays clean. If you drop this thing in the sand and sand gets in there, and then you jam your camera in there, the sand is going to grind on that lens, and that's not good for the lens. So be careful with it. Make sure that it's clean in there. You don't have any dirt, debris, or things like that from your pocket that can scratch the lenses when you jam this thing on there. Now, anyone that has ever owned an action camera of any type knows about the chest mount. You get some really cool first-person video off your chest, so you can use both hands to do what you're doing. Gonna hurt some GoPro people's feelings, but the chest mounts are out. Way too much hassle getting them over your shoulders and clipping them if you've got a bulky coat. The new thing is this right here, the Tellison neck mount. It's awesome. It's not a must-have, but if you want to do some first-person video, then you're going to want this. It has a flexible neck strap. It's kind of rubberized, so it gives you some grippage. There's a button on the back here that you press and it separates so you can put it around your neck. Once you get it snapped into place, now I might be messing up my microphone here. It comes with a little attachment. It's got the GoPro foot on the bottom, and you just place it there. It's magnetized. It pulls it in, and then there's locks in there that lock it into place so it can't fall out. And then you can get some really cool first-person video. Now to get it off of here, you turn it 90 degrees, and then it pops right out. Now, in a pinch, you can also lay it down and then clip it in there, and it can act sort of like a tripod and hold your camera up. Now, the next thing that I have is the suction cup mount from PGY Tech. This is something that you're going to have to explore yourself and make sure that you get a quality suction cup mount. You don't want to skimp on one of these suction cup mounts. Personally, I don't trust the single suction cup mounts, and the cheaper they get, the less I trust them. I've had them fall off of my dash in my truck, in my sunroof. I've had them stuck on the inside and had them fall off. I like to have the 3 suction cup mounts. This one from PGY Tech is really nice. It's got 3 adjustable suction cup mounts with the levers to snap it down to suck it into place. It's got a movable arm so you can move this thing around and get it where you want it. It comes with a 1/4-20 attachment, and it comes with a separate ball with a GoPro attachment with an integrated nut and a steel sleeve, so you can really crank it down to hold your GoPro in place. With this 3 suction cup mount, you can put your selfie stick right on there, and then you put your camera on there, stick it to your vehicle, and you can get some really wild footage with this. And this isn't a must-have, but if you're going to do some vehicle-related shots and you want that third-person view, like GTA from behind the vehicle or from way in front of the vehicle, then you're gonna want this type of setup. The selfie stick is going to disappear. It's going to be invisible in the shot, and it will look like someone is driving in front of you with a camera or driving behind you with a camera, or you're being followed by a drone. Really cool footage. The next thing that I have is by no means a must-have. It's just something that's nice for me. I have a use for it. It's the Ulanzi Cage. It's a all aluminum cage that you put around your camera, and it adds a little bit of extra protection and a whole lot of extra function. So you unscrew the top, open it up, you put your camera into it, close it up, screw it down nice and good, and then it's very secure in there. The Ulanzi Cage is designed a little bit different than some of the other ones. It has full access to your battery and your charge port. You can still put the microphone adapter in there. It gives you full access to the side buttons and your quick settings, full access to your touchscreen. It gives you a cold shoe on one side and a cold shoe on the top. On the top are 2 1/4-inch threaded holes. There is 1 1/4-inch threaded hole on the side and 1 on the bottom. So you can mount it onto your selfie stick on the bottom, and it gives a little bit extra protection. I like to use it for when I'm using the super long selfie stick and I'm going through rocks or a ravine or something. So if I bang into a rock, I'm not hitting the camera, I'm hitting this aluminum housing. You can also use it to get your camera in a different position. If you want to mount it sideways, this works really good if you're using a car mount because it kind of lowers the profile so it's not sticking straight up and wobbling around. And you can use the 1/4-inch connectors on the top to mount different devices like microphones or lights. I use the cold shoe on the top to mount a light when I need extra lighting when I'm doing a vlogging video with the Insta360 X3. It does have flip out GoPro mount on the bottom. I don't ever use that. I always use the 1/4 20 thread in the bottom, but it does have it if you have some old GoPro mounts. The Insta360 branded silicone lens protector won't fit with the cage on, but it does come with the silicone protector that works with the cage. The next thing that I have is not a must, but it's kind of a must if you want better audio quality. It's this little mount from Ulanzi. It is the PT20. It works specifically with the X3, and you mount it by putting it on the bottom of the X3 and then threading your selfie stick into your camera. And it gives you a little mount on the side where you can take your Comica Boom XD wireless microphone and clip it right to the side of the camera. And it stays completely out of the image when you're shooting video. If you're going to be using this mount and wanting to use a wireless microphone, then you're also going to have to get the Insta360 microphone adapter that just plugs into the side of the camera after you take off the little charge port door. Just remember, when you have the charge port door off, the camera is not waterproof. Now, speaking of the Comica Boom XD microphone, it's what I'm using now for audio, and it's plugged into my camera there behind the scenes, and it works really good. I've used it for all kinds of things. It's similar to the Rode Wireless Go, only it's far more affordable. The range is great, and there's only a few settings on it. You turn it on and it's automatically paired. You can repair it to different receivers. Right out of the box, you just turn it on and it works. You can adjust the gain on the microphone, and you can hook up 2 microphones to 1 receiver, so you can have audio on me and then on the person that I'm interviewing or whatever I might want to do, but you can have 2. It comes a couple of different ways. You can have the universal receiver, or you can have a receiver that's specific to an iPhone, or you can get it in USB-C for Android phones. I have the universal receiver and the one for the iPhone, and they both work really good. And just for reference, this is what the audio would sound like without the microphone. The next thing that I have is the Ulanzi VL49 RGB video light. Small, rechargeable video light. I can't show it to you in my hand right now, but I'll put a picture up of it. I'm using it over there as a fill light, but it works really great. You can attach it to the cage and have light, or you can put it off to the side. It has a magnet on it. You can stick it on the metal surfaces. It's got a cold shoe mount, and it also has a 1/4 20 thread so that you can put it on a tripod. Handy light, super affordable video light. The next thing I have is the PellKing Case. It's a pretty nice case. It's kind of hard-sided, so there's a lot of protection in it. You open it up, it has a nice zippered pouch on the top. Put all your doodads and gizmos up here. And then down here, it's all cut so it fits the different items that you want to store. The bullet time mount slides right in there. I have my Ulanzi super clamp, my battery charger, my mini tripod, and the regular selfie stick goes right there. And then the camera fits right in there, and you have a couple of extra holes. You can store extra batteries in here if you have a whole bunch of extra batteries. Inexpensive, zips up. The only, downside that I have with this is that the opening is opposite of the carry handle. So, and it's just me, I normally zip my devices or my cases closed in the middle like that. And I don't want to do that this way because it could, open up and things could fall out. I would like to see the zippers close on the other side, but all I got to do is remember to zip it all the way around to the top, and then I won't have to worry about that, and I can carry this all around. It does come with a convenient carry strap that hooks onto these D-rings on the side and goes around. I don't use that. I usually just throw this in a backpack and away I go. Carries all the stuff that I need for most shooting on the go. All right, a little different view here. I had to switch tripods. I've had this is the remote view selfie stick. I've had it for a long time, many years, and I've used it for a long time. It's just not the most convenient. But with this selfie stick, it's not friction based. It's you turn it and you tighten it up and then it locks into place. You have to turn it to loosen it, and then you can extend it out. The downside to this is if you're trying to get something to happen fast, you loosen it, you pull it, and this one comes apart. It's just the way it's designed. It doesn't have a positive stop. It just has a little thing here that says stop. So you pull it out, you get it almost, okay, that's too far, and then you tighten it down so it's locked into place. Same thing here, pull it out to, oop, that's too far, screw it back, put it down. So you have to do that with all of the little areas that you're going to do. Otherwise, you'll end up pulling the selfie stick apart. It has done its job, and I keep it around as a backup. The actual Insta360 selfie stick beats this out both in size, in weight, and in convenience, because you don't have to do all that turning and tightening and things like that. Be careful with what kind of selfie sticks that you get. Now, before we get to the last tip, I want to ask you a question. What accessory can you just not live without? Leave that down in the comments. And on the flip side of that, what accessory is just crap and nobody needs to waste their time on it? Leave that down there too. Then the last question is, what accessory do you think that I should try out? Because I'm always looking for new stuff. So leave those down in the comments. And now for the secret. This thing has a secret in it, and I'm going to tell you what it is. The secret that this thing holds is that you can attach it to a mini tripod, or even more importantly, you can attach it to the Ulanzi super clamp. And then you can attach the super clamp to a tree branch or whatever else you want to attach it to for some really cool footage. If you want to know how all that works, then click on this video right here and I'll show you how it's all done. So thanks for watching, and get out there and find your own path.